Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. And my name is Attorney Tim Kohler. I'm the principal attorney here at the East Carolina Law Group, located in beautiful Barco, North Carolina, just north of the beautiful Outer Banks. And today we're going to be talking about something pretty near and dear to my own heart. And just before I get started, happy St. Patrick's Day. And it is finally starting to brighten up. Looks like the sun's popping out. We're hopefully going to see the end of all this terrible weather we've recently had and this crud that's been going around. And I apologize for not having put a video up any recently, but I'm back, thank God, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and it's jurisdiction. I am kind of a civil procedure nerd since my law school days, and one of the things that we're going to talk about today that's really important is we're going to talk about child custody jurisdiction and the distinctions. And the reason we're going to talk about this is because I recently received an email from a young attorney from the North Carolina State Bar Association website, and just asking these questions about child custody jurisdiction and how they differ and that kind of thing. So jurisdiction for the layperson is twofold. One, it's the power of the court. The power of the court to extend its authority over you, and the power of the court to extend its authority over the thing or whatever it is you're suing over, meaning the cause of action, the claim. And so in any court, you've got to determine where you're going to file. What court are you going to go into? Are we going into district court, superior court, court of appeals, Supreme Court? If you take a child custody action, you go ahead and file it in the U.S. Supreme Court, you're going to get kicked out. And the reason is because under the federal Constitution and under our construction, federal courts are courts of limited jurisdiction. And what that means is they can only hear certain cases and controversies. We're not going to get into that, but just so you understand. In North Carolina, child custody actions lie exclusively within the jurisdiction of the district court. All right, so don't go file a small claims action for custody. Don't go file something in Superior Court for custody. You ain't going to get it. They're going to kick you out and you're going to get into a lot of trouble. But you need to determine what court to put it into. Now, what we're going to talk about, because of where we're located with the East Carolina Law Group, we are very, very close to the state of Virginia, or the Commonwealth of Virginia, excuse me. They're very proud of their heritage and being of the Old Dominion, and they like having their court set back in the 14th century, filing motions, craving a lawyer, and all those kind of goofy things that we don't have to worry about in North Carolina because we've actually evolved. But that being said, we're going to talk about child custody jurisdiction and why this is so important. So here's the hypothetical. Mom and dad split up. They have a child. Dad does the typical dad thing, which I don't agree with, but he says, wife, you can have custody. Gives custody of the child to wife. Wife then takes the child and moves to Virginia. Later on down the road, dad goes, I'm going to move to South Carolina. So dad moves to South Carolina. By the by, 5-10 years goes by, whatever. And dad finally decides, I'm going to sue mom for custody because she's not letting me see the kid because she says I owe her more in child support and she's got a new boyfriend and she's dating a drug dealer and all the other excuses I hear all the time as to why people aren't getting their visitation with their child. So, where does he file? Well, if North Carolina issued the original custody order, should North Carolina do anything about modifying it? Well, this is a complex question. It can be very difficult. But here's what it boils down to. Look up North Carolina General Statute 58. You're going to look in 200 to 203. And this is going to give you the answer. So this is called the Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction Enforcement Act, or UCCJEA as we call it. And what this is going to do is this is going to break out exactly where this action should be. So under the statute, whoever takes original or initial jurisdiction, whoever assumes the case, will hold on to the case until they lose jurisdiction. Now, how does that happen? So here's our scenario. Parents are married, they split up, mom takes child, both of them leave North Carolina. Does North Carolina still have jurisdiction? Quite possibly, maybe, but maybe not. Depends on how long they're gone for. So here's what it boils down to. Nobody lives in the state anymore, both live in different states, so who will now have jurisdiction? Well, that's going to get into an analysis called home state jurisdiction. And home state jurisdiction by statute is this. Home state jurisdiction is established in the state where the child has resided for 6 months with a parent or person acting as a parent. Or with a person acting as a parent within the last 6 months. So, let's back it up. Let's say mom and dad get divorced. Dad moves to South Carolina. Mom moves with the child 6 months later to Virginia. A month after they move to Virginia, dad initiates an action in Virginia. Would Virginia have jurisdiction? No. home state jurisdiction for that child is actually still in North Carolina. Dad would bring it to North Carolina. That would be the proper place because child was in North Carolina within the past 6 months with a parent or person acting as a parent. Once the child has been out of North Carolina for 6 months with a parent or person acting as a parent, could be a guardian or custodian, North Carolina would then lose home state jurisdiction as if no other parents continue to reside here. So if one parent goes out of state with the child, North Carolina is going to keep jurisdiction. But if both parents leave the state and stay out of the state for a period of 6 months, North Carolina will lose home state jurisdiction. So that is a very important distinction to make. And I say all this to say, I'm not trying to confuse anybody, lay persons who are listening to this who don't quite understand what I'm talking about. Here's the whole point. These cases can be very tricky. It's like holding a giant ball of spaghetti and trying to pull each strand out one at a time to figure out what's what. And it can be difficult for even seasoned attorneys. And there are even family law attorneys who won't even touch an interstate jurisdiction problem. That being said, the point of this is, if you end up in a jurisdiction issue or a child custody case where you're not exactly sure where it should be filed, you need to hire an attorney and you need to do it quickly. And hire somebody who knows how to handle these cases. At the East Carolina Law Group, we do handle interstate child custody jurisdiction issues. We've dealt with them before. We're fully competent to do so, and I actually enjoy it sometimes. We would highly recommend that you not try to deal with this yourself. You're going to end up in a lot of hot water. And then always remember my old adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if you want to take a look at more of this, you can look us up on Facebook at the East Carolina Law Group, like our page, and you can send us messages and watch our posts. We'll put videos up there. You can also PM us. We're starting a new segment on our Facebook page called Ask a Lawyer. And Ask a Lawyer is basically whatever general legal question you have. Don't give us any specific information. Just a general legal question. Hey, why does this cost so much? Or, hey, what should you do in this situation? Just general. Don't give us any personal facts. And every week we're going to select one, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to post it and publish it, and we're going to talk about it, and we're going to explain it, and we're going to really get it out there, and we're going to try to answer your questions as best we can. We're not going to put any names in there. Nobody's going to get thrown under the bus. We're not going to throw you out there. But we're going to get this information out so that you guys can say, okay, I know what's going on, or hey, look, these guys are actually going to try and explain something. We're not kept in the dark. That's kind of the bad impressions the profession tends to have for folks with legal professions. You know, they don't tell us everything. We don't know everything. We don't understand everything. I'll explain it to you as best I can in the most simple way that I can. Ask me your question. I'll be happy to answer it. You can also find us on our website, eastcarolinalaw.com. You can also find us at currituckattorney.com. It will all take you to the same place. You can look us up on avo.com. And so from Lee Malco, Lauren Paulia, Michelle, and myself, we'd like to thank you for visiting our video. You can also call us at 252-453-2273. Have a great day, and I hope you all get ready for a great summer. I'm just really looking forward to it. I can't wait for it to warm up. So have a great St. Patrick's Day. Stay safe. Don't drive drunk. Use Uber, and we'll see you around.